Reading Berserk makes me stop from time to time and just think why. Why did Griffith do that to the band and most importantly to Casca? What about the reason why Guts just decided one day to leave the band? Or why did Casca lose her mind completely after what happened? But the one question that I had today was a question that we all might have had before. Why did Griffith turn evil? I look back sometimes to the first chapters where we could see a side of Griffith that has just faded away now. A version of him that will sacrifice himself just to save a man who later on decides to leave him for certain reasons. But today we are going to analyze those eyes of his, since they are the only ones who have seen the truth. Griffith always had a big ego, one that no one will wish to have unless they want to go insane. And that is one of the reasons that drove him to do what he did in the Eclipse. He was also one of those guys that not only wanted power but wanted to show it to his enemies by dominating them. He always wanted to be the center of attention, and the guy that everyone will wish to be under his command. But that was before Guts decided to leave the band and also beat Griffith, which just broke his ego completely. Can you just imagine a guy that had lived his whole life in a very competitive way with others? He doesn't even call the ones that will die for him friends. He states it clearly that he can only call a friend someone who is equal to him, someone with a dream of his own. Until that day, there was no other like Griffith. But just like in sport, it's always about matchmaking. And Griffith met his worst matchup that destroyed his ego, which started this whole messed up plot twist on Berserk. The night he went out to sleep with the princess was a night that he will go on to regret. Maybe not openly, but for sure deep inside. That moment sent Griffith to a prison to be tortured every single day, every single moment, for a full year. Basically the one who tortured him, which to be honest with the looks he has, he probably had that as a reason to hire me when he might have had applied for a torturer, or a tortoise. Someone just helped me out with the name of the job. But anyways, this guy skinned him, boiled him, cut off his tongue, then ate his tongue and muscle tendons, to the point that Griffith could not even move anymore, and let alone fight. And now he's seeing that Guts had come back to the band, but this girl that used to be all over Griffith is all over the guy that destroyed his ego a year ago. And how does Griffith take this? Just like every other man will take that, like a very big L, that most likely haunts him till this day. Helpless that he needs other people to help him do the basic things that a human being needs to do, he slowly starts going insane. And if you have a friend who has a big ego, you know how Griffith takes help from people he sees under him. So the help that the band was giving him was not on his wish list at all. They also wanted to leave when they saw him. They were looking for their strong captain, but Griffith could not fill the boxes. So obviously he became mad over that. And if that was not enough, this demon had to show the whole band how his body looks like now, with no chance of going back where he was unless, sacrificing them. So Griffith just starts hating the way he is even more now and he goes for suicide. But unfortunately, he's not strong enough to do that. And obviously the reason why he wanted to suicide is pretty easy, and I will explain it in terms that a 5-year-old could probably understand. It's like you being the best at a video game and a couple of months go by without playing it, and those two rookie friends of yours that used to play before are just destroying your ass now. It's the same feeling, just worse. But at the end, it's not that Griffith didn't like them, maybe not love them, I won't go that far, but for sure they were the only ones he could see as precious to him. Sometimes I do think that Griffith, on certain moments, was not hating the band, but just himself, because he could not provide the same for them. If everyone is waiting for your comeback for a full year, and you come back as a skeleton who can't even walk, but just observe what is going on, then you will definitely hate yourself for not being good enough or useful. It's like when your dad tells you to help him out with some online stuff, and the moment you can't really help him, you get a disappointment stare. It just breaks your heart. And it did break Griffith's heart. It was only getting worse for him. If the physical torture was not enough that whole year, he saw and heard some stuff that made him feel more pain than whatever torture this guy was doing. That also one of the reasons he goes on to do that to Casa in front of Guts. Mostly to punish those two, and just like I told you, since Guts was, doing freakies with Casca, Griffith saw the rape as something that would break Guts' ego if he had one like him, and recover his own at the same time.